Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's look, we are going to be doing a very soft, matte, still full coverage, still, you know, still a lot of makeup, but it's going to be soft, it's going to be blended, it's going to be natural-ish. So I am doing a more natural brackets look. I'm doing super soft matte glam, matte skin going on. We've got the matte kind of smoky eye. This tutorial also uses a bunch of products like drugstore products. I tried to be as cheap as possible but still being good products. I didn't want to give you all the rubbish ones. Like I'm not advertising rubbish products on this channel, no matter what the price. So before you go ahead and watch this little tutorial, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out a lot. We're almost at 2,500, I think. That's quite a lot. That's quite a lot for 2 years, not gonna lie. And don't forget to leave a comment and a little like on this video. Tell me if you enjoyed the video. Tell me if you absolutely hated it. Just tell me anything. So thank you guys for tuning in. Now let's go straight ahead into this video. Right, so the first thing that I did off camera to prep all this skin for all the makeup and stuff, I did use some Diomed Dry Skin Moisturizer, I think it is. It's just gonna help smooth the skin, keep it hydrated, because we're gonna be using matte-ish products, so it's gonna be super dry. And it's from Home Bargains, and it's like £2-3 maybe. I also use this vitamin C serum from Home Bargains. This is also like £3. This has got vitamin C in it, obviously, so it's got some brightening properties. It's also a little bit tacky. It's just going to help make everything just nice and smooth and hydrated. So I'm just going to wipe my brows off. Obviously I shave my brows off so I can draw new ones because my natural brows are just... So for the brows, I'm taking MAC Dip Down. I am using budget-friendly products today, as many as I can. But for brows, I just can't. I can't use cheap products for brows because it just won't work. So I'm just going to start by drawing the bottom baseline first. I normally put it quite a bit higher than my natural brow. And I just normally draw it straight up, and then I go for a little curve at the end, like that. Doesn't really matter how messy it is because you can wipe off and clean up underneath. So for the top line, I start about, I don't know, like a quarter of the way in. And I just draw a parallel line like that. That is a thick brow today. Now I'm going to fill it in with little hair strokes. So I just take the same brush and I just flick up little lines like that, getting lighter as they go to the front of the brow. When I've added the first layer, I'm just going to go back and add more, kind of in different directions. They're all either directing up or that way, never direct them that way, just so it looks a bit sleeker and it looks like you brushed them, kind of like that. So that's like the bushy brow that I do. I think it's a lot better than the other brow that I do, the very blocky one. So now I'm just going to take a wet wipe, and because this brow is huge, I'm just going to take it on my finger and just lightly wipe off what I don't want. It's much, much thinner. It looks a little bit better than the huge, thick brow. So I'm going to draw the other one off camera, and then we're going to go straight into the eyes. So now let's jump into eyes. So I'm going to prime the eye with the P. Louise base in number 1. This is obviously lighter than my skin tone, but I want the colours to pop a bit more. You can use white if you want. Use whatever colour you think is best for you. So I'm just patting this all over the eye with a flat brush. This is a Peaches and Creams brush, and it's quite big, not gonna lie. And I'm just gonna pat that on all over, patting it into the eye space. I'm taking it all the way out here as well, because this look is a super blended out, it's a soft look. It's my version of soft. So it needs to be super blended. So I need to bring the base all the way out here and even above the brow. And then I'll go under and cut the brow. And because I want it to be super blended out, I'm just taking a quite dense but more rounded fluffy brush, and I'm just patting the edges out. So for today's look, we are going to be using the Anastasia and Jackie Aina palette because it's got quite a good amount of neutral shadows, and they're all quite soft glam vibes. They're not really cut crease dramatic colours, they're all pretty neutral toned. So we are going for a very soft glam. It's still full coverage, it just looks softer. So for the first colour on the eye, I'm going to take Credit, which is, it's like a neutral tone, very deep brown. That one there. Now Credit's like the perfect colour for neutral looks because you can go pink with it or you can go brown. So I'm just gonna put this all over my lid space with a very fluffy brush. It's quite dense. I'm just lightly tapping it on all over the lid space. So I'm just buffing that in. Because this is a super blended look, you don't have to be that precise. You just have to be careful of how much you're blending it out. Especially this colour, you don't really want it to go all up and everywhere. You want it quite tight and just in the lid space. I'm just going to blend that out with another fluffy brush. This is a crown brush. It's got nothing on it, and I'm just going to go from side to side and just blend out the edge. Now I'm going to take a fluffy brush, but this is tapered, well it's a bit tapered, but it's smaller than the one that we put on the lid. And I'm going to take Edges, which is, it's like a warmer tone. Yeah, it's like a warmer toned brown, and I'm just going to be buffing out the edge with this colour. So just where we stopped putting that Credit shade, I'm just going to plop Edges right on top. Doesn't really matter if you get it on the lid or if you get it onto the other shadow, because you can always put Credit back on. And with that shade, now it's a little blown out, but we are going to blend it out with another fluffy brush and blend out the edges to make it look a bit more blended out. So that just looks a bit more blended out. So now we're going to take the last shade in the palette. I'm going to take it on another Doe Beauty brush. This is just fluffier, I guess. I'm going to take Ginger, which is the lightest nude in the palette, and I'm just going to ever so slightly brush it very lightly all across the edge of that last shade. So now I'm just going to add the previous shades back in. So I'm going to go into Credit first and just re-add that pigment back on. And I'm just going to take one final clean brush and just lightly dust over the edges of that final blend colour. Now for the brow bone shade, I'm just going to take some foundation powder that's going to be used as my highlights later on. I'm just taking it on a fluffy brush and I'm just putting that on the brow bone and blending it into the shadow. This will also kind of blend out the shadow, make it look a little bit more seamless. I don't want to say seamless all the time, not like Joan. It just makes it look like those shadows are meant to be there, when clearly they're not. And then if you want to, another trick is to get your bronzer, the lighter bronzer, and I'm just going to take a very, very fluffy brush, and this is going to be the very final touch of the eyeshadow. Just a little bit of bronzer, and you can use the bronzer to kind of smoke this out all the way up, like that. Because the bronzer's going to match with all the other bronzer and foundation you've got on your face in a way. So it's a really good technique in getting super blended shadows. I'm also going to take that very light highlight shade and I'm going to put that in the inner corner. So I know this isn't soft glam, I'm going to keep saying it, because people go off in the comments and be like, oh, you said soft glam, but it's like basically a black smoky eye. I know. This is my version of soft glam. This is drag queen soft glam. It's basically like smoky glam. I didn't say it was natural glam. I said it was soft. And this highlight powder, using that on the inner corner, really does help create that highlight there without any too much shimmer. Soft Glam typically is matte. It's very matte glam. So that's basically it for the eye. I might add a pinch of different things, like maybe a pinch of black eyeshadow there, just to correct my eye shape. I'm going to do this eye off camera and then we'll be back for the skin, which is the most important part. Right, so now it's time for skin. So I've done the other eye off camera obviously, and I did wipe away underneath to get that kind of cat eye little lift effect. So before I apply any makeup, I'm just going to top up the skincare I've done. I'm going to use this Mario Badescu, I just say Badescu, sorry if I'm butchering your name. I'm using the Aloe Cucumber Spray. I mean, I use the aloe vera one because it reduces redness and I have a few red patches going on. And it just brings all the moisture back to the face that you've applied before. So now for primer, I'm going to take the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This is a new primer I've got. It's not drugstore by any means, it's actually quite expensive. But this has got aloe vera and I think it's got hemp in it as well. And it's just really good at gripping on to the makeup. I'm just slathering that all over. And it also has some blurring effects, which is great because I need the blurring effects. So that's the primer on. Now foundation, I'm going to use MAC Studio Fix. It is a full coverage foundation, but as explained before, it is a full coverage look. So I'm just going to take some of this onto the back of my hand because I haven't got a pump. And I'm just going to dot this around the face. This is what I do with this foundation, because if you just start applying it everywhere, because it's a bit more matte, it will just dry up on you. And I'm just going to blend that out with a little Doll Beauty foundation brush. And I'm just patting it all over the skin. I'm just going to take a little sponge and just lightly dab over and blend everything out. For concealer, I'm going to use the Born This Way Multi Sculpt. It's my favourite concealer. It's full coverage, but it's not cakey at all. And I'm just going to dab little bits like that. You don't need that much for this concealer. Even drag makeup, you don't need that much. I'm going to take the same sponge, I'm just going to dab it onto the highlight areas. And now for contouring, I'm actually using an old product that I used to use like a year or even like 2 years ago. Taking the Revolution Fast Bake Foundation Stick. This is like £5 and it is a good foundation. The only problem I have with it is that it lasts like 5 seconds and then you've ran out of it. So this is F13 and I'm just gonna lightly contour with this. Just do a little bit on the forehead. And I do quite a hefty amount on the neck area because it's just best to hide all them chins I've got. I do a little bit on the chin as well because I've got no chin. And then just a smidge on the nose. Nothing too much, just a little bit. And I'm just going to blend that out using a Peaches and Cream brush. I'm just going to buff it in, so just lightly patting it with a brush. Just so it doesn't end up spreading everywhere, because if you use a sponge, it tends to spread further. When you get to the forehead, because it does spread quite a bit, just go lightly over with a sponge and just blend those edges. And for the nose, I'm just blending it out with a sponge, nothing fancy. I'm not doing super harsh nose contour today. So now we've done with liquids and creams on the skin, I'm going to get some RCMA Translucent. I'm not using too much, because I don't want it to be full cake face. I'm just going to take a tiny amount on a brush, and just lightly pat over the highlight areas. Just anywhere that's going to crease, just pat over them first. You don't have to pat the entire face because we've used a matte foundation and it should last. I'd only do translucent if it's really warm or if you're wanting the makeup to last all day. But also translucent powder can help with blending things out. I have not blended under my lip, whoops. So now what I always do in every video, and I strongly suggest you all do it, I don't know if you are, but I'm still gonna tell you all to do it, is to set my face with more foundation powders. Now, obviously nobody's actually said anything about this step. Nobody's really said anything about this step, but I do want to clarify because this is soft makeup. So it's soft glam. This step does not make you look cakey at all. In fact, it makes you look the opposite. It blurs everything. It blurs your foundation, it blurs the pores, it blurs all the cracks, it blurs all the mistakes, which is why I put such a thick layer on. So that is just NW30, which is my actual shade. I've actually got a powder in my actual shade. And I'm gonna take NW15, which is for the under eyes. I'm gonna take NW15, the highlight powder, and I'm just gonna pat that under the eyes, just right under there, and just make them highlights pop a bit more. You don't have to do this, obviously. Some people prefer baking, and as I've said in many videos, I cannot do the baking, it just makes me dry. Now I'm gonna contour, and I'm actually gonna use the Miss KVD Vegan Beauty Shade and Light palette. Whatever your opinions are of this woman, she does not own this brand anymore, so none of my money's gone towards her. I'm gonna take a contour shade on a P. Louise brush, and I'm just gonna lightly brush over what I've already got with the cream contour, just bringing that colour back. Now this palette is a bit on the cool tone side. I mean, it's a contour palette, that's what it's supposed to be there for. But with soft glam, I think you do need more cool tone contours, and it just makes it look a bit more natural and less like orange stripes on your face. Just gonna take the deepest shade in the palette on a very, very fluffy brush. I mean, I've just knocked all that excess off there, and just lightly brush on the very edge. It's very pigmented, so I'm just lightly brushing it on, and then I'll go back into my original brush and just blend that out. Now for blush, I use the same blush palette in every video almost. It's the Revolution Peach Quad one, and I'm gonna take it on a Doll Beauty blush brush, and I'm just gonna take this shade and this shade, just a pinch of both. Actually, you know, I might take this one. I never use that shade, so I don't know what it looks like. I'm just gonna put this up here first. I'm just patting it on and then bringing it slightly into the centre. And I'm gonna lightly brush on the forehead just to warm it up a bit, and then lightly do where the highlight is, just to blend them two together. And for the nose contour, I'm taking this brush. Now this brush is from Amazon, and it's like the perfect nose contouring brush. It's like a fan brush. It's quite thick and small. I'm just gonna take the lightest shade in that KVD palette and just go along the edge. I'm gonna take some of that just to reshape my jaw or the chin. I'm also gonna take some on the lower lip. So now I'm gonna do the under eyes before I do highlight and all that stuff. So I'm gonna take the credit shade that we had first, so the deepest shade on top. I'm just gonna lightly put that here at the very outer corner, just so it gives that more snatched up effect. It's kind of like an illusion. I'm gonna take the same brush that we used for edges, the exact same one, because it's still quite small. I'm just gonna put that on top and smoke that out a tad. Then I'm gonna take a very, very fluffy brush with ginger and just very lightly go along the edge and blend that out. Now I am gonna add a little bit of shimmer, a tiny bit of shimmer on the inner corner, just to make it pop. Now, I mean, I'm not telling you off if you do this. I'm telling myself off more than anything. Because I said, oh, I'm not gonna do shimmer. Then what do I go and do? Get some shimmer. So I'm gonna take the Jackie Aina palette, and I think I'm gonna take, oh, I don't know, I could go anywhere with this. I think I'm gonna take Trust Issues, you know, that one. It's got a bit of green in it, but it's a duochrome shade. I'm just gonna lightly put that on the inner corner. More in the inner lower corner than the top, because you won't really see the top part. So now we can go into actual highlighter. So I'm gonna use two highlighters, I think. I might end up just using one, depends how it works. I'm gonna use Doll Beauty's Pretty Little Glow. Now first I'm gonna spritz myself, just to prepare for the shine. I've got a new highlighter brush, again from Amazon. It's perfect for highlighting. Now I think this is actually a green gold highlighter. Oh, it is. Oh, so it ties in. Now I said I was putting a little bit on, but I lied, obviously. And then for that little bit more, just that tiny bit, that little wet look, I'm gonna take the Be Perfect Do You highlighter. I take it on this fluffy brush, which looks green, and I hope it's got no green on it, and just lightly sprinkle that on top. So now for lips, I'm gonna take the Peaches and Cream Punchline lip liner. I bought a whole pack of these. These lip liners are identical to the MAC ones. Basically the exact same, but really cheaper. So I'm just gonna overdraw my lips with this. Now I've stopped overdrawing my top lip that much because some people are getting a bit concerned at how big my lips were getting. They were getting a bit clownish. I understand they were getting very clownish. So now I just overdraw the top line. So just go across like that. And I basically just follow my natural lip line just a bit above it. Just like that. Now I still do that technique that I always do. I just wipe off anything on my lips. I just wipe off any foundation, any powder, basically anything that's going to affect the lipstick, I just get rid of, because it will dry it out and make it go really weird. Now I'm going to take Sandstorm by NYX. This is my favourite nude, and I'm just going to plot this all over the lip. These are my favourite formula. They do dry down, but they're not matte, so they don't make my lips look super cracked or dry. They're really, really good for my lips. I'm going to add a little bit of gloss as well. I'm going to add Toffee by Anastasia. I've had this for years now. Favourite gloss ever. And just put that on top. This is going to warm up the lip a little bit, because it is a warmer nude. But that's like a proper 90s nude, that. I mean, look at that. That's it. Now for mascara, I'm just gonna get any mascara. I've just got this mini one from Anastasia that I got with a palette. And I'm just gonna cover my lashes in this. This one's new and fresh, so it actually puts mascara on my eyes without crusting and cracking and making them all fall out. And for lashes, the final step, I'm actually gonna take some Doll lashes, some Doll Beauty lashes. They're Alexandra. These are perfect for this look. I mean, they flare out, they're a bit big, but they're not too big, and they're still fluffy. They're just a perfect lash for this kind of look if you want drama, but you don't want drag queen drama. And I'm gonna do my lashes off camera. I'm also gonna get a new wig on. Well, it's not new. I'm gonna put a wig on and a little outfit, and I'll be back for the final reveal. So this is the finished look. I finally put on the lashes, the wig, the little outfit that's very tight and mashing all my rolls together. Now this wig is the same wig you've been seeing for the past like 5 videos, but it's a good wig. It was only like £20. It's a bit ratty now, it's a bit frizzy all over the place, but she's lasting a bit. So this is my soft glam, well, my version of soft matte glam. It was still very full coverage, obviously, because I need full coverage. I mean, you need to cover up this face with something. So I did use a full coverage products on the face, but as you can see, it's still very soft, it's still subtle, it's not extreme contrasts and extreme blush and contour like normal. The main focus was the eyes. I think that's like the main point of soft glam. It's get the eyes as soft as possible, as blended as possible. And I didn't do a cut crease. I did not do a cut crease today. That's a rare thing to happen on this channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial. Before you go, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a little thumbs up and a comment as well. I love reading the comments. I say it at the end of every video, but I do like reading the comments. So thank you guys for watching another tutorial, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye guys.